Good morning, my dear students. So, welcome you all once again. This is your English teacher, Prabhat Sharma, with section 3 Refugee Blues, a poem written by W.H. Auden. Stanhope Auden, 1907 to 1973, was an English American poet, playwright, critic, and lyricist. He extended a major influence on the poetry of the 20th century. His poetry is known for dealing with themes of politics, religion, and love. Just before World War II broke out, Auden immigrated to the United States of America. Excuse me. He won the Pulitzer Prize in 1948 for his poem The Age of Anxiety. This poem, written in 1939, describes the condition of Jewish refugees during the Second World War. So, I shall read out the poem to begin with. That talks to the traumas of German Jewish refugees during the period of Second World War. So, guys, please open page number 84 of our course book, New Pathways. Page 84. Shall I begin now? Surely, yes. Say the city has 10 million souls. Some are living in mansions, some are living in halls. Sorry. Yet there's no place for us. My dear, yet there's no place for us. Once we had a country and we thought it fair. Look in the atlas and you'll find it there. We cannot go there now, my dear. We cannot go there now. In the village churchyard, there grows an old view. Every spring it blossoms anew. Old passports cannot do that, my dear. Old passports cannot do that. The council banged the table and said, if you have got no passport, you are officially dead. But we are still alive, my dear. But we are still alive. Went to a committee, they offered me a chair. Asked me politely to return next year. But where shall we go today, my dear? But where shall we go today? Came to a public meeting. The speaker got up and said, if we let them in, they'll steal our daily bread. He was talking of you and me, my dear. He was talking of you and me. Now come to page number 85, the rest part of a poem. Saw a poodle in a jacket fastened with pin. So a door opened and a cat let in. But they weren't German Jews, my dear. But they weren't German Jews. Went down the harbor and stood upon the quay, saw the fish swimming as if they were free. Only 10 feet away, my dear. Only 10 feet away. Walked through a wood, saw the birds in the trees. They had no politicians and sang at their ease. They weren't the human race, my dear. They weren't the human race. Dreamed I saw a building with 1,000 floors, 1,000 windows, and 1,000 doors. Not one of them was ours, my dear. Not one of them was ours. Stood on a great plain in the falling snow. 10,000 soldiers marched to and fro, looking for you and me, my dear, looking for me, you and me. So this is an extract originated or adapted from the original one, written by W.H. Auden, Weinstein, Hugh Auden, 1907 to 1973, American English poet. Okay. So the speaker in this poem is himself a German, a Jewish German refugee. Okay. So let us see what the poem says. So we will be discussing about the central idea, summary, and explanation of the poem later on. So this was the reading of the poem. You all have, hope you all have bought the books. Read the poem again and again. Okay. And then only you will understand the meaning. Now we see the vocabulary, the meanings of new and difficult words. The first one from the title itself, we see it is refugee. So, a refugee is a person who goes to another country to escape being mistreated for their religion or politics or to escape war. शरणार्थी जिसने दूसरी पनाह ली दूसरे देश में जाकर अपने को जिंदगी बचाया. Second is blues. The same as it in the title heading in the poem. Blues, a slow, sad song, first sung by African Americans working as slaves in the USA. These sad ballads expressed the unhappiness of the slaves' lives. Now, here we see in the first line, say the city has 10 million souls. So, the souls here means people. And in the second line, the following line, the poet says, some are living in mansions, some are living in holes. Mansion मतलब बड़े बड़े घर, कोठियाँ, बंगलोस. एंड होल्स मतलब स्लम्स में. कुछ लोग अमीर हैं, बड़े बड़े घर में रहते हैं, और कुछ लोग बहुत गरीब हैं, वो झोपड़ी झोपड़ी झोपड़पट्टी में रहते हैं. देन we see the third paragraph, first line. In the village churchyard, there grows an old yew. So, yew is a coniferous tree which has red berry-like fruits. एक प्रकार का पेड़ है. जी सर. Sixth, in the fourth paragraph, the consul banged the table and said, So consul is a government official representing the country in a foreign country. अभी राजदूत होते हैं, एम्बेसडर होते हैं, हाई कमिश्नर होते हैं ना, ऐसे तो सरकार का कोई प्रतिनिधि दूसरे देश में, representative of a government in another country is known as a consul. So the poet says here that he, in this poem, he is mentioning about a large city with nowhere to go. So it is a large city with nowhere to go. And he also complains in the lines of the poem that we are being wiped out of existence. We have no identity at all. Even in my dreams, I see no place for us in the world, he says. We are hunted down and tormented. So we will always live in a fear of being found. भाई पकड़े गए तो मार दिए जाएंगे. तो ये बड़ा डर हमेशा उनके अंदर समाया हुआ. So what we have learned here about refugee blues from Wikipedia also, that refugee blues is a poem by W.H. Auden written in 1939. One of a number of poems Auden wrote in the mid to late 1930s in blues and other popular meters. For example, the meter he used in his love poem Calypso, written around the same time. That's a different thing. We'll talk about that later on, sometimes if we get a time. Now, we have a question in the mind. When it comes to a mind, it arises in the mind. What is the meaning of refugee blues? Okay, the title of a poem. The Refugee Blues is about the plight of Jewish refugees in the year 1930s and around. When the poem was written in 1939, the millions of Jews were trying to flee Nazi Germany. You know what is a million? Million means 10 lakhs. So when the poem was written in the late 1930s, means in the year 1939, there were millions of Jews who were trying to flee, to run away from Germany, which was led by, Germany was governed by Hitler, Adolf Hitler, was a Nazi. However, most countries had strict quotas on Jewish immigration. And as a result, most Jews were sent back. So this is the backdrop of the story. So thank you for today. Stay safe. Okay, stay healthy. God bless you all, my dear students, my dear friends. See you soon tomorrow. Bye bye and take care.